Hi, Alan Shimel, DevOps.com at DevOps Enterprise Summit. And I'm joined once again by Rosalind Radcliffe, distinguished engineer of IBM. Rosalind, welcome.
Thank you.
Again.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. How's that? So, Rosalind, we spoke yesterday. Well, we've spoken so many times, but we spoke yesterday really as part of the panel with Sanjeev and Mark Howell from Lloyd's and the fellow from Monetize and Gareth from Monetize. It was a great discussion, but we wanted to talk a little bit more about one of your favorite subjects, which is enterprise systems, the tools we're using around them, and have they caught the DevOps wave? Can we be doing better?
Well, that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk. We can do better. And this morning was another example of the conversation about the fact that we're doing this on the distributed side. We're doing this for all of the systems that, fit in the new model of development. And it all applies to the Z systems and the systems of record. And it was a great example about SAP and how they were using SAP in this kind of system. And it just tells you that the systems of record can do this too, but we keep not helping our Z people by leaving them in old tools and old processes. And one of the things that was commented yesterday and today is the SCM, or the source code manager, is key to this process. You need to have an SCM that you can share information. You need to have an SCM that you have configuration information, your test information. Everybody sees it. So if we isolate our Z guys into those host-based SCMs, we're guaranteeing it's not going to work.
Yeah. So Rosalind, and I don't pretend to be anywhere near the expert you are, but one of the things that I see when we talk about this sort of bimodal or two-speed IT, I've said this before, it really reminds me of segregation, in the colored people bathrooms. It's one thing to say, okay, these people are going to go with this speed and these people are going to go with that speed, and that's okay. But it's not even that really. What they really say is these people are we're going to enable these people to use the latest, greatest stuff and fly. And yeah, these people, well, they're a little slow. And we're not even going to try. We're not even going to try. We're just going to let them mosey on along with their tools that they've been using for 30 years, because after all, they probably can't do any better anyway. And it's okay. It's separate but equal. And it's not. And it's unfair. But not only is it unfair, it's bad business.
Well, that's the key point. It's bad business. You wouldn't move all of your distributed source code into these host-based SCMs, so why do you make the Z guys still use them?
Right.
It's just not fair. Separate but equal has been proven to not work.
Unconstitutional and not work.
Well, that's
right.
true.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It's not valid. So what we're doing is we're limiting the value we're getting out of our most significant systems, and that makes no sense. And we have tools today that allow you to do the same kind of development for Z systems. So don't isolate them, don't separate them. And right now, it's not separate but equal. It's separate and old.
Right, and unequal.
And unequal.
Right.
So we need to move them into the 21st century.
So how do we do it, Rosalind?
Well, we give them the modern tools and practices. We migrate off those old tools that they're currently using. And I know it's hard, but wait a minute. On the distributed side, they move SCMs every year almost. I mean, how many people have we heard today? They're moving to Git from whatever. So it's not that huge a deal. The build systems, yes, you need to redo your build system, but they do that on the distributed side all the time.
Yeah.
Talk to the SAP guy there. We're moving their systems. So it's a move, but it's not impossible. It's not huge. There are plenty of customers that are doing it. I mean, State Street's fully migrated. They're using modern tools. There are many other customers that have done it, and they see the value.
But why aren't we seeing a wider adoption? Why aren't we seeing more modern tools coming into the systems of record like this?
That's the question I have. I don't understand. I talk to a lot of clients, and they say, but it works. So what they're doing today has worked for 30 years. So it works. So why break it?
Right, or
But it
potentially break it.
but it doesn't work.
But I mean, if there's a lesson we've learned, and I think we learn it at places like the DevOps Enterprise Summit, we learn it in business every day, though. If you're standing still, you're going backwards. Okay? If there's one lesson in business today, that's it. If you're standing still, you're going backwards. Why are these people content to stand still?
It doesn't make sense to me. And I think it's because they're afraid. I think it really is the scaredness or the worry that these systems of record are the lifeblood of their system, and they're worried about breaking them. They don't care, their mobile front end is going to sound really bad, but they don't care about those systems. That's why they're willing to change them so fast,
Right.
because they're not as mission critical. But really, they are.
Yes, they are.
The website, the mobile device.
I mean, they're the face of to your customers. You would think
Absolutely.
that's more important.
So that's very important. So there's no reason that we can't change. And for those customers that have migrated, they're getting such value out of this transformation that I think it's really just they're not bothering. And they need to bother. They need to understand. And if they don't, the better answer is they're going to be disrupted, and they might not be here.
They could Neanderthalize,
Yes.
if that's a word. So, Rosalind, not to get all IBM on you, right? But you do work for the IBM Z systems and enterprise systems. Who you guys own this? What can you do? What can IBM? What can you guys do to make this change happen?
Well, we've invested a lot in providing capabilities and tools to allow people to move. And so we have tools like Rational Team Concert that provide an end-to-end solution. We've taken Urban Code Deploy, and it can deploy your distributed front end and your Z backend in an efficient manner. So you can have a single SCM build infrastructure and deployment tool that allows you to do this for your Z guys and your distributed guys. And if you happen to want to use Git, we have a lot of support for Git and Git and Enterprise, GitHub
and Git Enterprise. Yes.
capability, and you can use that with RTC. So you can bring all of your teams together to do this development. And we run workshops with clients to help them with this transformation. And we have lots of business partners that have the capability to help you move as well. So there's a whole set of people around that are helping some number of clients already. And it's just the rest of them need to come into the 21st century.
Agreed.
And take this migration.
Can I make a suggestion? And I'd love to hear it. This is live. Well, not live, but this is right in front of our audience. One of the things that has really helped DevOps overall, I interviewed Nigel Kirsten, CIO of Puppet, earlier. This is the 5th year of the Puppet survey that they do, the DevOps survey. But to me, the most interesting thing about their survey is they've shown real metrics about haves and have-nots, those who are adopting and those who aren't. I've never seen that for the Z system, for the enterprise, for the system of records people, between those who are using the kinds of new tools you're talking about, Git and Urban Code and so forth, versus those who are saying, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Maybe what we need is some survey data between high-performing enterprise systems organizations and low-performing ones, and maybe that'll help.
We
push
have
it
the
over.
data, though I don't have it right here in front of me, but we've done that kind of thing. And the surveys that come out about high-performing versus low-performing, they're exactly the same for enterprise customers. So the enterprise customers that are transforming, that are taking advantage of these new technologies, are significantly better performers than those who are not.
I don't know if that word's gotten out, but that is your mission impossible, Rosalind, if you choose to accept it. Of course, if you're caught, the secretary will disavow any knowledge of your mission. But that being said, Rosalind, thank you so much for joining us again here at DevOps Enterprise Summit 2016 London. I want to hear more about your results. Maybe DevOps.com can help you with that.
Thank you.
Okay. Rosalind Radcliffe, a distinguished engineer, IBM, and frequent contributor and guest here at DevOps.com. Thank you. This is Alan Shimel for DevOps.com.